So, we just finished watching the premiere of Skeleton Crew. Disney gave us the first 2 episodes, and honestly, if you judge the show for what it is, I'd say it's fine. It's clearly designed to be a kids' show. It's light on deep lore or complexity and more of a surface level fun adventure for a younger audience.
Definitely made for kids. But let's face it, no one asked for this show, which is why it surprises me so much that people are actually praising this show so heavily on social media. I mean, I get it if you're maybe a casual fan going into Star Wars with zero expectations. I can see how you could find this show entertaining so far. But for fans like me who know how much crazy potential Star Wars has, it is so frustrating to see Disney putting out content like this instead of giving fans the deeper stories they've been craving. There's so much incredible source material of stories from the expanded universe they could use instead. And we also have plenty of well-established characters from the movies that could be explored upon further. Not to mention the Star Wars fandom is one of the biggest and most passionate communities in all of entertainment. So with such a rich history and resources to draw from and the largest fan base in entertainment, it is absurd that Disney won't capitalize on that. I'll explain exactly why they won't in this video. But what were some of your initial thoughts on the premiere of Skeleton Crew?
I agree it's confusing. For what the show is aiming to be, it works. It doesn't take itself seriously, and there's some charm in its simplicity. Kids will probably enjoy it, but that's such a small segment of the Star Wars audience. Most fans today, especially after the mixed reception of the sequels, are older college age or even in their 30s and beyond. So why is Disney putting so much effort into this when they could be using that energy to create something more substantial for the core fan base? It feels like Disney is trying to cast a wider net, which is fine, but not at the expense of the loyal fandom. Shows like The Acolyte didn't fail because of the timeline or concept. It failed because of poor execution, limited scope, and lackluster direction. Fans were excited to explore the Old Republic timeline, but the result didn't live up to expectations. I really hope Kathleen Kennedy over at Disney doesn't take the wrong lesson from that and assume fans don't want deeper, more mature stories.
100%. But with that being said, there were some positive aspects to the episodes. I appreciated the world building. They did a great job showing us a new planet, new perspectives, and a bit of that grand cinematic Star Wars feel. It felt expansive, unlike The Acolyte, which suffered from cheap-looking sets and a lack of scale. At least Skeleton Crew captures some of the visual magic we associate with Star Wars. But ultimately, it's clear the show is aimed at pulling in a new, younger audience, definitely not the hardcore fans.
Star Wars was never meant to be segmented like this. The original trilogy was a great story that anyone could enjoy, and that's what made it timeless. If Disney keeps trying to overcorrect and compartmentalize the franchise into these niche audiences, whether it's kids, casuals, or generic Disney fans, they're going to dilute what made Star Wars special in the first place. Instead of focusing on universal, compelling stories that resonate with everyone, they're creating disposable content that risks alienating the core fan base. The magic of Star Wars is that it can inspire awe in an 8-year-old while still captivating a 40-year-old who's been a fan since the beginning. Disney needs to remember that balance, because if they lose the core fans while chasing new ones, they'll eventually end up with neither. I get that Disney might want to bring in a younger generation, especially since there hasn't been a new movie in almost 7 years, leaving a gap for kids growing up today. But here's the thing, you don't need to make watered-down kids' content to attract new fans. If you create great Star Wars stories, they'll come naturally. Quality storytelling transcends age or demographic. At the end of the day, the best way to grow the franchise is with genuinely good content that appeals to everyone.
I really hate to say this, but Skeleton Crew feels like a huge sign that the Star Wars we grew up with could be officially over within the next few years.
Well, everyone's been saying that for years. What makes this time different?
Skeleton Crew is a show no one really asked for, yet Disney chose to make it anyway, and that says a lot about their intentions for the future of Star Wars content. Once the current projects like Ahsoka, Andor, and the Mandalorian movie wrap up, it's becoming pretty clear that Disney wants to stray further away from George Lucas's vision and focus on random projects that cater to a general audience. As heartbreaking as it is to see the Star Wars franchise stray away like this, I do want to end this video on a positive note. The holidays are just around the corner, So this Friday, we're dropping our first tee and hoodie from my new clothing line. I created this brand because I wanted to give Star Wars fans something that reminds us of those good vibes and the comfort we felt when watching the original 6 films. Like I said, the first drop is this Friday, and there will be more drops on the way. So make sure to follow my Trim by Trooper Talks Instagram account so you don't miss them. Catch you guys next time, and make sure to subscribe for more Trooper Talks. Thanks for watching.